Is there any one thing or multiple things that a driver can do when they're pulled over that would bring down the anxiety level of the police officer and make it less likely to have a confrontation?
Most people that are pulled over are polite, are courteous. It's a very small percentage that start off right off the bat arguing or confrontational. Hey, we have a job we have to do. That's just one of the jobs we have to do to keep the community safe. I think just being courteous. It's a stressful time.
Let me go deeper. What physical actions could I engage in? I mean, nothing aggressive.
Just be relaxed. Officers, we recognize when somebody's agitated or tense, or just try to remain calm. If you have a weapon in the vehicle, like me, I carry my weapon when I'm off duty. I tell them I have a gun, a firearm in the vehicle. I have my hands up on the steering wheel, just so I've been told, the officer's been told there's a weapon in the vehicle. So that takes that unknown off the checklist, because we have all of these things that are gone through in training and instilled into us from training and throughout our career, where we've had people that don't tell us they have a weapon or something in the car that could hurt us. And bad things happen, unfortunately, sometimes because of the situation. So I think just being calm, tell them, hey, I have a gun in the car. It's right here, and have your hands up on the steering wheel. It just helps de-escalate it on that end.
What other things could we do with our body language? What other things could we vocally or verbally say? What other things can we do just to lessen the anxiety? Like you said, it could be one of the most dangerous things for a police officer. I'm thinking of the police and thinking, what can I do that would make it less threatening? So hands on the wheel, explain that if I do or do not have a weapon. Should I put my hazards on? Should I put a blinker on? Should I drive further and wait till I get to a safer place to pull over? Or does that piss you off because I drove too long?
Those are good things. I always try to pull off the roadway. If you can, it's much safer for everybody if we're not out on a highway or a very busy street. If you can, if you put your hazards on, you're acknowledging that you see me behind you with my lights on. It's the person that doesn't or do that and keeps driving or pulls over in a unsafe place where it has to heighten our environmental awareness of what's going on. That it just, if we can do those things, and you mentioned several of them, pulling off in a safer spot, a parking lot, if possible, even giving hand gestures in the mirror, like, okay, I see you. I'm just going to go drive down here a little bit and turn off the road. Just that nonverbal communication still can serve a point. And then say, if you get pulled over, be like, okay, sorry, it took me a little bit to pull over, but I wanted to pull into a parking lot off the roadway where it's safe or something. That way they understand that you're trying to look out for us too, and just to be safe.
I like that. And this is a weird question. I tend to do that. Would it even be less threatening if the driver pulls over, puts their hands out the window like this, like, yo, I'm good? Or would that just be weird?
No, I've had people do it, and to me that says, okay, there's probably a weapon in the vehicle maybe. I've seen that a lot with people with weapons in the vehicle. So
so don't do it.
I'm not saying don't do it. I think it's an important clue or tell to the officer that, hey, I either don't have anything, especially if there is something in the car.
Okay, this helps. Sweet Tea had a good question, like, should we ask permission to go in our glove box?
I think that it goes back to communication. Communication is the basic mechanism in any encounter with the police, and telling them, hey, I'm going to open my glove box, my registration in there, not just lunging for it or just start grabbing things without being asked for it. It helps de-escalate it too.
if you're a family member of a police officer and you happen to have one of the, I don't know what they call them, like PBA cards or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, those little cards. If you do that, right, what's the way that you can provide that without looking like a pompous dick to the cops so you don't look like a dick?
I, I've had people do that. I mean, it's not going to influence, it shouldn't influence what's going to happen.
Oh, you're being all political now. I got you.
Oh no, and
Okay.
I mean, I think we know that we see those stickers all the time. We have those stickers here on the cars and things like that, and unfortunately, uh, it shouldn't sway the encounter.
I
There's
mean,
not a
very political. If someone has one of these symbols, like a card or a thing on their car, does it bring down the anxiety of the officer in any way, or does it just not matter? Because I'm thinking about you.
well, and I get that. And today, I think right now it probably does because now if everybody has all those stickers, and there's going to be people that don't want stickers on the car that are supporters or whatever. I think it does. It's
Okay.
subvertively or
Okay.
indirectly, it probably does, because in my mind, I see it. I recognize, hey, that's a thin blue line sticker, or that's the FOP star or something. I think it
Got you.
does.
Good. Are there any certain symbols or things that are more provocative that might, I'm not saying it does, that might heighten one's anxiety if you're a police officer pulling someone over? Any symbols or stickers, or, you know what I mean?
I think Second Amendment stickers, I support the Second Amendment. Those are like, okay, he likes guns, or this person support. And I'm a gun person, but I don't have that sticker on my car. But if I see
That
somebody
might,
with that sticker, okay, there might be a weapon in the car.
so seeing that sticker may heighten anxiety slightly?
Yeah, because you know that's
Okay.
somebody that likes
Good.
weapons, and that's not no fault to anybody, but it's just something that we're looking at. We're trained observers, so we're looking for all those indirect clues or things that maybe ratchet up our anxiety. But if
Yep.
we can have that communication when we get up there and say, hey, look, I have a weapon in the car, and this, okay, that helps me notch down, because a bad person's not necessarily going to tell me that there's a weapon in the car.
Yeah, I got you. Now, if you're asked to get out of the car, because you name it, it's happened to me. If you're, I have no criminal record, let me be clear. If you're asked to get out of the car, right? What specifically should you do when you get out? Like, obviously follow directions, right? Is there anything with your body language that makes it less threatening? Again, I'm thinking about the officer.
So we're looking at the nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication, we all know, is more powerful than even sometimes the verbal communication, because it's going to tell us before it's said or spoken. So you get out in your clenched fists in a fighting type posture, we're going to notice that. If you just get out and walk like a normal, not agitated, we get scared. We see this nervousness sometimes. We get that.
Yep.
And
That
we're
makes a
trained to
lot of
observe
sense.
that. So just be normal, be yourself.
What about these people that get their phone and it almost seems provocative? They're all waving it, like trying to record the officer. How does that make an officer feel?
I think it makes them, and we've had it done. It's their right to record the police and film the police, but it just elevates our stress a little, because now we have to watch what a person's doing filming us, and hopefully that they're not getting in a position where they're putting themselves in danger, or it's taking the attention of the officers away from the people that they're
Yes,
dealing with.
I got you.
So
Not to mention, you probably are aware of this. There are certain weapons that look like cell phones or filming devices.
absolutely,
They're created specifically to they're modified to look like a cell phone. I don't know if you know that.
absolutely.
I mean, I don't have any.
No, I know, and it's not necessarily illegal to have those things, but there's always somebody looking.
It's certainly threatening to the officer pulling you over, right?
To make $1 off of something that could be used as a weapon, or is a weapon that's disguised as a cell phone. So it's It's just
Yeah.
one of those things that's hazards.